from an undisclosed location in North America. You are watching Card to Card. And this is going to be an interesting episode, I think. This is a card from the MetaZoo Seance set, first edition. Actually, this is from the big box edition. I keep getting tricked by that. But it is called the Betz Sphere. And as you can see, the art there, this is art by Pepper DeLuca. And you see this, just looks like a ball. But I was intrigued. It had like music notes there. I was intrigued. I wanted to find out what in the world is the Betz Sphere. Well, glad you asked. This is a 100% true story, and this is the story of the Betz Sphere. On March 27th, 1974, at Fort George Island, Florida, or near that area, the Betz family, they were checking out, like there was a brush fire near their home, and they found this small metal sphere. It was about the size of a bowling ball. And their first thought was, hey, this is really cool. This might be a cannonball from like the New World conquistadors. And they brought that sphere back to their home. And a few days later, their son, the oldest son, Terry, he was playing guitar, and the sphere seemed to react to the sound of the guitar. It started making like a throbbing noise, and they also noted that the ball would roll on its own, could stop and like change direction, and it would like reverberate, almost like if you hit it with a hammer or something, it would reverberate. So, and it also like move by itself after being shaken. So, as this sphere gained notoriety, many people felt that this had to be of extraterrestrial origin and some sort of alien aircraft or alien something. And we actually have a video of an actual sphere-shaped UFO. Let's go ahead and roll that. And while you're watching this, think, could this be this Betz sphere? Let's go ahead and roll that. Okay, very interesting video there. So, also, I have a picture of the youngest Betz child, and he actually is. This is a real picture of the Betz sphere, and there it is. There's the sun there, and there's a good close-up look at the actual Betz sphere. This shot was taken back in the 70s. So, this is a real thing. What was it? We're trying to figure it out. So, like I said, many people felt like this had to be of extraterrestrial origin, and the U.S. Navy got involved. This was big news back in the 70s, and they wanted to investigate what exactly the Betz sphere could actually be. And they analyzed it, and they determined that it was made of stainless steel. And this ball was like a half-inch thick shell of stainless steel. And they determined it was not military property, and they had indeed, that this object had indeed been manufactured on Earth. and they said that there was a small triangular marking or chip that was on the sphere, and that was what was causing it to move by itself, kind of like it was out of balance or something. Well, next, a team of renowned scientists. This team got together. They studied the sphere, and they agreed that it must be of man-made origin, and that it was not from outer space. Well, the Betz family, they eventually grew tired of getting all these constant phone calls and media attention in this orb, and they put it away and quit talking about it with the reporters and stuff, and they basically just got tired of all the attention. So, in 2012, now this is like almost 40 years later, this woman named Lottie Robinson, she was looking up pictures of this Betz sphere, and she recognized this ball from the pictures, like that picture we just showed a little while ago, and it matched one that she had in her garage. And that sphere was known. She knew where her sphere was from. She didn't think it was from aliens or whatever, but she knew it was from a paper mill, a ball check valve that was used like in the mill's factory, the large pipes in the factory. And it was then found out that the Bell and Howell Company, they manufactured these round ball check valves, and they measured Mrs. Robinson's sphere and analyzed it and found it to be identical to what the Navy had found of that Betz sphere. So it sounds like the Betz sphere was one of these check valves, these ball check valves. So the question is, how did that check valve get to where the Betz family found it? Well, this is going to blow your mind, as this whole story gets kind of tied together with a nice, neat ribbon. So, in 1971, now this is 3 years before the Betz family found the sphere, there was this artist named James Darling, and he acquired several of these check valves, similar spheres, for an art project. And he was also, going around picking up other, like scrap and junk metal pieces for his art. And he was hauling them around in his Volkswagen van. And he actually ran out of room in the van, so he put several of these spheres up on top of the van on his upper luggage rack. And sure enough, he happened to drive through that Fort George Island area in Florida, where we know at least one of those spheres fell off that luggage rack and into paranormal history. So that's where it came from, and that's what the Betz sphere was. It's been proven. The complete story has had its beginning and ending, and now we have this really cool card to remind us of this awesome story. So incredibly, that crazy sequence of events led us to this card and being a cryptid, basically. So that's the story of the Betz sphere. Now, this is the part of the video where we take a closer look. We see the music notes. Now we kind of get what that's about. That's after Terry was playing his guitar, and still it's kind of weird how it was like reverberating and making noise from music, but it must just have like those type of characteristics. So it was there. It was, the date is right, March 27th, 1974. That's the exact day they found it. Fort George Island, Florida. That matches up. So the flavor text, as hard as it is for me to read this, says, "This strange little sphere has an origin cloaked in obscurity. Its metal shell Prevents X-rays and physical tampering. It vibrates in specific but unfamiliar tunes. So, yeah, the MetaZoo people kind of played up the UFO side of it. It's even considered a beastie robot, and it's kind of got the UFO, I think that's cosmic UFO aura or whatever. But really cool story, and every time I see this card now, I am going to think about this crazy story of the Betz sphere and that crazy journey that orb found to become famous and was a huge story back in the 70s. All right, so thank you for watching, and next time you're like out in Florida, definitely keep your eye out for another one of these spheres, because I bet you there's some more out there that rolled off that Volkswagen. All right.
I have no knowledge of how the sphere itself happened to be in the place where I found it. As I've stated previously, when I found it, it was on top of the ground. It was not embedded. I saw no charred marks, no big indentations in the ground. In fact, it looks as if someone had taken it and set it in the spot. But as to how it got there, I, nor anyone else I know, has any knowledge of this.
Off the table, as I understand it, it moves around the table, won't fall off the edge.
I'd like Dr. Harder, who's our scientific expert, to say more about that.
Yeah, but visually,
Yeah,
it
that
comes up as effective. You want to make them. Okay, well, what I have to say is.